A bank manager mocks a young black man in a pink suit until he's unveiled as a fintech titan. Will justice triumph? Like and subscribe for this electrifying tale of victory in our latest videos. The bank lobby pulsed with a cold. Mechanical rhythm tellers hammered keyboards. Phones shrilled, and marble floors shimmered under harsh chandeliers, reflecting the sterile wealth of the place. Malcolm Young, a 28-year-old black man in a radiant pink suit that screamed defiance, swept through the glass doors, his presence a lightning bolt in the muted room, his briefcase heavy with data for a pivotal board meeting. His eyes, glinting like polished obsidian behind sleek glasses, scanned the lobby clients in suits, tellers in starched uniforms, a security guard by the vault reading every detail like a battlefield map. He approached the reception desk, where Evelyn Sharp, a white manager in her 50s with a razor-tight bun and a blazer buttoned like armor, flicked her eyes up, her gaze snagging on his suit with a sneer that could curdle blood. Name, she snapped, her voice a lash, her fingers poised over her keyboard as if it were a weapon. Malcolm Young, here for the board, he said, his tone smooth, unshakable, a calm that made her flinch. Evelyn's lips twisted, her eyes raking him from his pink lapels to his polished shoes. No appointment, she said, leaning back, her voice dripping venom. Sit over there, don't clog my desk. She pointed to a row of hard chairs by the entrance, her dismissal a slap. Malcolm's smile was a shard of glass, his eyes dancing with the secret as he sauntered to the chairs, dropping into one with a flourish, then stretching across four, legs kicked up, arms behind his head, eyes closing as if the lobby were his private lounge. The room jolted, clients froze. A pen clattered. Tellers exchanged smirks, while a young teller, a black woman with braided hair named Lila Grace, paused, her eyes narrowing, sensing a storm brewing. Evelyn's voice cut through, loud enough to echo. What's this? Pink suit napping on my time, she mocked, striding over, her heels stabbing the marble. This isn't your mama's couch, fool. The lobby gasped, a businessman in a navy suit chuckling. Get him out. But Lila's fingers twitched, her phone slipping out, filming discreetly. Malcolm didn't stir, his breathing slow, a smirk curling his lips, as if Evelyn's venom were a breeze. Sleep tight, idiot. Evelyn hissed, leaning closer, her voice a blade. Or I'll have security toss you like trash. The crowd stirred whispers of outrageous, and who is he, as a woman in a green coat clutched her purse, torn between shock and awe. Malcolm's eyes stayed shut, his smirk sharpening, a silent taunt that set Evelyn's face ablaze. She snapped at the guard. Move him, but the guard hesitated, his radio crackling, sensing trouble. An hour bled into two. The lobby a pressure cooker client stared, a teen in a hoodie filmed openly, his live stream buzzing with comments, pink suits unbothered. Evelyn paced, her composure cracking, her voice shrill. He's mocking us. She spat as Lila's camera caught every word. Then the boardroom doors slammed open. A tidal wave of authority as 8 executives in tailored suits charged out, led by Victor Steele, a silver-haired giant whose voice thundered. Malcolm Young, need you now. The lobby detonated, tellers dropped files. Clients gasped. Evelyn's coffee mug shattered on the floor, brown liquid pooling like her fading control. Malcolm's eyes flicked open, his smirk a guillotine as he rose, adjusting his pink suit with a swagger that owned the room. Sorry, Victor, he said, his voice silk over steel. Just testing the vibe. He strode forward, the crowd parting like a sea, phones flashing, as Victor gripped his hand, ignoring Evelyn's choked gasp. Malcolm Young, Victor boomed, founder of Horizon Fin, our $50 million fintech star. The lobby roared shouts, cheers. Lila's live stream spiking with tens of thousands of viewers, comments flooding Pink Suits the boss. Evelyn stumbled, her voice a wheeze. This, impossible, Malcolm spun, his gaze a flamethrower, and yanked a smartwatch from his wrist, its screen glowing. "Impossible," he said, his voice a low growl. "I recorded everything in him. Evelyn, every slur, every sneer." He tapped the watch and blasting audio of her insults through the lobby's speakers. "Fool. Trash." Pink suit as a report projected onto the digital wall, detailing her bias with timestamps and footage. The crowd surged, clients chanting, "Fire her," a woman in the green coat throwing her scarf in disgust. Malcolm swiped his watch again, and the bank's alarm screamed, red lights strobing, screens locking, a security protocol triggered by his command. "Your branch fails," he said, as the crowd pounded counters, a client hurling a magazine that grazed Evelyn's shoulder. Victor's face was stone. Turning to Evelyn, "Suspended now," he roared, security seizing her arms as she shrieked. "He set me up." Her bun unraveled, her blazer tearing, as the crowd booed, a man in a fedora shouting, "Get out." But chaos flared. A client in a leather jacket, egged on by Evelyn's earlier jeers, lunged at Malcolm, shouting, "You're a fraud." Malcolm sidestepped, grabbing the man's wrist, twisting it just enough to drop him to his knees, his voice icy. "Sit down, or you're next." The crowd cheered, Lila's camera shaking, her live stream comments exploding. "Pink suit's a beast," security hauled the man away. As Evelyn was dragged out, her screams fading, Malcolm faced the crowd, now 70 strong, his voice a war cry. "This bank's rotten horizon. Finn's here to gut it." The crowd roared, Lila clapping, the teen's live stream hitting 1 million views. Victor nodded, his voice grim. "We're with you." "Malcolm." But Malcolm's eyes caught Lila's, then flicked to an executive in the back, his smirk hinting at a deeper game. Outside, news vans screeched up, sirens blaring, as the crowd chanted, "Young." Malcolm adjusted his pink suit, his watch still glowing, a signal the real fight was just igniting. The bank lobby crackled with a volatile charge, the echoes of Malcolm Young's takedown of Evelyn Sharp still reverberating through the 70-strong crowd, their chants of Young shaking the marble walls. Phones blazed, capturing every second. The Young teller Lila Grace's live stream, now a global blaze, millions watching. Comments surging with pink suit and Justice News cameras jammed the entrance. Reporters shouting over the din, while the bank's alarm system, triggered by Malcolm's smartwatch, had quieted, leaving red lights flickering like a heartbeat. Malcolm stood at the lobby's center, his pink suit a defiant flare under the chandeliers, flanked by Victor Steele and the board, their faces a mix of awe and urgency. The woman in the green coat clapped through tears, the teen in the hoodie still filming, while the man in the fedora shouted, "You showed her, Young." Security guards hovered, their radios crackling, as the crowd buzzed clients, tellers, strangers united by Malcolm's stand. Evelyn's screams had faded, her suspension a fresh wound, but the air was far from calm. Malcolm raised a hand, his voice a molten blade, silencing the chaos. "You think that was my fight?" he said, his eyes sweeping the crowd, locking on Lila, who nodded, her phone down, her gaze fierce. "Let me tell you where I started, where this came from." The crowd leaned in, phones dipping, as Victor gestured for silence, sensing history. Malcolm's voice dropped, raw and unyielding. "I grew up in a Chicago slum, roaches for roommates, gunfire for lullabies. My mom worked 3 jobs, but we still ate ketchup packets some nights. School a war zone, teachers gave up. Kids carried knives, but I had a library card and a fire inside. Stole computer books, taught myself code on a junkyard laptop, built apps by flashlight." The crowd was silent, Lila's eyes glistening. The teen's live stream comments flooding. "He's unreal." Malcolm paced, his pink suit catching the light, his words a drumbeat. "By 16, I was hacking nothing big, just enough to eat. Got caught, juvie for a year, came out with a plan, no more surviving, only building. Wrote my first fintech app at 18, sold it for $10,000, started Horizon Fin. Now it's worth 50 million. The crowd erupted. Cheers shaking the walls. The woman in the green coat shouting, "That's a king," Lila clapped, her face alight, as the man in the fedora pumped his fist. Reporters scribbled, shouting, "How'd you do it?" Young, but Malcolm wasn't done. Every step, someone like her Evelyn told me I was nothing. Cops, bosses, bankers, all saw the skin and judged. I wore this pink suit to dare them to look. The crowd roared, phones flashing. As Victor nodded, his voice low, "You're changing the game, Malcolm." But the moment shattered as Lila rushed forward, her face pale, clutching a tablet. "Mr. Young," she said, her voice urgent, loud enough for all to hear. "Customer data hacked, thousands of accounts exposed. Started last week." Under Evelyn's watch, gasps ripped through the lobby. Clients checking phones, panic spreading like wildfire. A businessman in a gray suit shouted, "My money's gone," as reporters surged. Cameras rolling. Malcolm's eyes narrowed, seizing Lila's tablet, its screen flashing red alerts. "This isn't random," he said, his voice a growl, turning to Victor. "Someone's covering tracks." The crowd hushed, sensing a deeper fight, as Lila whispered, "Evelyn signed off on shady transfers. I saw the logs." The teen's live stream comments exploded. "She's a crook, but trouble brewed." A group of tellers, led by a wiry man named Carl Flint, shoved through the crowd, their faces hard. "You're stirring chaos." Young Carl spat, his voice loud, pointing at Malcolm. "This hack's on you, trying to play hero." A few clients nodded, murmuring, "He's trouble." As the crowd's unity wavered, Lila stepped up, her voice fierce. Evelyn hid those deals. Not him, but Carl's group jeered, one throwing a coffee cup that splashed Malcolm's suit. The crowd gasped, security moving in, but Malcolm raised a hand, his voice a thunderclap. "You want to fight," he said, staring Carl down, his pink suit stained, but unbowed. "Bring it, my app's already tracing that hack." He tapped his smartwatch, projecting a live data stream onto the lobby screen, IP addresses, timestamps, linked to Evelyn's office. The crowd roared, chanting Young as Carl's group shrank, their bravado crumbling. Reporters shouted, "Is Sharp behind the hack?" But Malcolm ignored them, his eyes locking on Lila. "You're with me," he said, low and fierce. She nodded, her braids swinging. All in. The crowd surged, the woman in the green coat shouting, "Get him, Young." But Carl wasn't done. Lunging forward, grabbing a chair, swinging it toward Malcolm, the lobby screamed, clients ducking, as Malcolm dodged, grabbing Carl's arm, twisting it until he dropped, security piling on. "You're finished," Malcolm said, his voice ice, as Carl was dragged out, cursing. The crowd was electric, chanting Horizon. Finlila's tablet buzzed, new hack alerts flashing, as Victor's face hardened. "We need you." "Malcolm," he said, gripping his shoulder. Outside, news vans multiplied, sirens wailing. As the video of Evelyn's downfall went viral, millions sharing, Malcolm adjusted his pink suit, coffee stain and all, his smartwatch glowing, a signal the real war was just beginning. The bank lobby was a pressure cooker. Malcolm Young's revelation of his rise from the slums and the exposed data hack fueling the 70-strong crowd, their cheers of Horizon Fin echoing off the marble walls like a battle cry. Phones flashed, capturing every moment. Lila Grace's live stream now a global phenomenon. Millions watching, comments blazing with pink suit and "Take 'em down." News cameras choked the entrance. Reporters shouting questions, their lights glaring, while the bank's digital screens flickered with Malcolm's hack tracing data. IP addresses scrolling like a ticking bomb. Malcolm stood at the lobby's heart, his pink suit stained with coffee but unbowed. Lila at his side, her tablet glowing with alerts. Victor Steele and the board flanked them, their faces grim. As the crowd, clients, tellers, onlookers vibrated with outrage and awe, the woman in the green coat shouted, "Get justice!" Young while the teen in the hoodie filmed, his live stream comments surging, "This is war outside." News vans multiplied, but a new storm hit as the glass doors burst open. 6 FBI agents in tactical vests charging through, their boots pounding, badges flashing. Malcolm Young, the lead agent, a wiry woman named Agent Tara Pierce, barked, her voice cutting through the chaos. "We need you now." The crowd gasped, phones swiveling, as reporters surged, shouting, "What's the FBI doing here?" Malcolm's eyes narrowed, his smartwatch buzzing, but he raised a hand, his voice steady. "Let's hear it," he said, as Lila gripped her tablet, her braids swinging. Pierce strode forward, her voice sharp. "Your hack trace flagged a cybercrime ring linked to this branch. Under Evelyn Sharp's oversight. We're taking her in." The crowd roared, clients chanting, "Lock her up," a businessman in a gray suit checking his phone, panicking over his accounts. Lila whispered, "I found encrypted files in Evelyn's system, shady transfers, offshore accounts." Malcolm seized the tablet, his fingers flying, projecting new data onto the lobby screen, transactions tied to a dark web syndicate. The crowd gasped, the teen's live stream spiking, comments flooding. "She's a criminal." But the chaos escalated as a makeshift press conference formed. Reporters shoving microphones at Malcolm, Victor, and Pierce. "Is Sharp a hacker?" one shouted. As Malcolm stepped up, his voice ablaze, "She's no hacker, she's a gatekeeper for thieves." My apps peeling back their lies. The crowd cheered, the woman in the green coat throwing her fist up, but tension flared as a group of tellers, led by a stocky woman named Brenda Cole, pushed through, their faces twisted with rage. "You're ruining this bank," young Brenda screamed, pointing at him, her voice loud enough to hush the crowd. "That hack's your fault, planting evidence to play hero." A few clients murmured, doubt creeping in, as reporters scribbled, sensing a scoop. Lila stepped forward, her voice fierce. "Evelyn hid those files, not Malcolm. I saw her override security, but Brenda's group jeered, one throwing a water bottle that splashed the stage." The crowd screamed, security lunging, but Malcolm dodged, his pink suit flashing, his voice a thunderclap. "You want truth," he roared, tapping his smartwatch, blasting decrypted files onto the screen, emails from Evelyn to unknown accounts, approving illicit transfers. The crowd erupted, chanting Young as Brenda's group shrank, their bravado crumbling. Pierce nodded, her voice grim. "We're seizing her office. Sharp's facing federal charges." Reporters shouted, "What's the syndicate?" But Malcolm wasn't done. Turning to Lila, "Dig deeper," he said, low and urgent. "They're still active." Lila's fingers flew, her tablet buzzing, as she whispered, "Got a live connection. Someone's accessing the system now." The crowd hushed, sensing a trap, as Malcolm's watch projected a live feed data streams from an internal terminal. The lobby froze, eyes darting to the tellers' desks, where a nervous man named Greg Vance, another of Brenda's allies, fumbled his keyboard, sweat beading. "Him," Lila shouted, pointing as security tackled Vance, his chair crashing, the crowd surging, phones capturing every second. "He's in on it," a client yelled, as Vance screamed. "I didn't do anything." Pierce's agents cuffed him, dragging him out, as the crowd booed, the teen's live stream hitting millions of views, comments blazing, pink suits unstoppable. Malcolm faced the reporters, his voice a rallying cry. "Horizon Fin isn't just tech, it's truth. We're exposing every crack in this system." The crowd roared, the woman in the green coat sobbing, the man in the fedora shouting, "Keep going." But Brenda wasn't finished, shoving forward, her voice desperate. "You'll tank us all," she cried, grabbing a monitor, hurling it toward Malcolm. The lobby screamed, clients ducking, as Malcolm sidestepped, the monitor shattering on the marble. sparks flying. Security pinned Brenda, her curses drowned by the crowd's chants of young. Lila's tablet buzzed again, new alerts flashing. As she whispered, the hacks spreading other branches hit. Malcolm's eyes blazed, turning to Pierce. We're shutting it down my way. Pierce nodded, her voice sharp. You've got 1 hour. Victor clapped Malcolm's shoulder, his voice firm. We're all in, outside. FBI vans screeched up, sirens wailing, as the viral video of Evelyn's downfall fueled global outrage. Malcolm adjusted his pink suit, his smartwatch glowing, Lila at his side, ready to hunt the syndicate's heart. The bank lobby was a cauldron of chaos. Malcolm Young's exposure of the data hack and Evelyn Sharp's ties to a cybercrime syndicate sending shockwaves through the 70-strong crowd, their chants of Young thundering off the marble walls like a war drum. Phones blazed, capturing every second. Lila Grace's live stream, a global inferno. Millions watching, comments surging with pink suit and bust 'em. News cameras clogged the entrance. Reporters shouting over shattered monitors and flickering red lights from the bank's triggered alarms. Malcolm stood at the center, his pink suit a beacon of defiance. Coffee stain and all, Lila at his side, her tablet pulsing with hack alerts. FBI agent Tara Pierce coordinated with her team, seizing Evelyn's office, while Victor Steele and the board watched, their faces taut with urgency. The woman in the green coat shouted, "Take him down!" Young as the teen in the hoodie filmed, his live stream comments exploding. This is epic. Security guards wrestled the detained teller Greg Vance out, his curses fading. But the crowd, clients, tellers, onlookers, was a live wire, teetering between awe and panic. Malcolm raised a hand, his voice a razor, slicing through the din. We're not done, he said, eyes locking on Lila, who nodded, her braids swinging, her fingers poised over her tablet. They think they can hide. Let's burn their shadows. The crowd cheered, but Lila stepped forward, her voice sharp, loud enough for all to hear. Evelyn wasn't alone. She said, her tablet projecting new data onto the lobby screen logs of overridden security protocols. Signed by Evelyn, masking illicit transfers. She forced us to bury suspicious deals, threatened our jobs if we talked. Gasps ripped through the crowd. A client in a red scarf shouting, "She's a crook," reporters surged, microphones thrusting. As the teen's live stream spiked, comments flooding Lila's a hero, Malcolm's eyes blazed, seizing the moment. Then we dig deeper, he said, turning to Lila. Show me. She nodded, her fingers flying, pulling up encrypted files from Evelyn's terminal. The crowd leaned in, phones flashing, as Malcolm and Lila huddled over the tablet, their voices low, urgent. These linked to a dark web syndicate. Lila whispered, but the transfers needed inside access. Someone's still here. Malcolm's smartwatch buzzed, syncing with her data, projecting a live trace data streams from a hidden server. The lobby tensed, eyes darting, as Malcolm's voice rose. They're watching us right now. The crowd hushed, sensing a trap. But chaos erupted as a group of tellers, led by a wiry man named Derek Holt, stormed forward, their faces twisted with rage. You're tearing us apart. Young Derek roared, pointing, his voice venomous. That hacks your setup. A few clients murmured, doubt creeping, as reporters scribbled, sensing blood. Derek's group shoved closer, one hurling a stapler that grazed Lila's shoulder. The crowd screaming, security lunging. Malcolm stepped in front, his pink suit flashing, his voice a thunderbolt. Back off, he roared, dodging a thrown chair, his smartwatch projecting a new alert data access from Derek's terminal. You're the leak, Holt Malcolm said, pointing, as Lila's tablet confirmed it, showing Derek's login on illicit transfers. The crowd surged, chanting Young as Derek's group faltered, their bravado cracking. Security tackled Derek, his shouts drowned by boos, but he broke free, grabbing a fire extinguisher, spraying foam toward Malcolm and Lila. The lobby erupted, clients ducked. Foam splattered the marble, Reporters scrambled, cameras rolling. Malcolm shielded Lila, his suit soaked, and lunged, wrenching the extinguisher from Derek, pinning him to the floor, his voice ice. Game over. The crowd roared, security cuffing Derek, dragging him out, as the teen's live stream hit tens of millions, comments blazing pink suits a beast. Lila, shaking but fierce, tapped her tablet, pulling up more files, Evelyn's emails to a syndicate, CC'd to Derek. They plan to frame you, she said, loud enough for all to hear. As the crowd gasped, the woman in the green coat shouting, "Jail him," pierces air and seized Derek's terminal, her voice sharp. "We've got enough for arrests, Sharp. Holt, the whole ring." Reporters shouted, "What's the syndicate's goal?" But Malcolm turned to Lila, his voice low. "You're no teller. You're a hacker. Aren't you?" Lila smirked, her eyes glinting. "Since I was 15, kept it quiet till now." The crowd cheered, a client in a red scarf yelling, "She's with him." Malcolm clapped her shoulder, his voice a vow. "Then we're cracking this wide open together." Lila nodded, her tablet buzzing with new traces, as Malcolm's smartwatch synced, projecting a live hack attempt from another branch. The lobby was electric, phones capturing every second. As Victor stepped up, his voice firm, "Horizon, Finn's running point, full access. Young." The crowd roared, chanting Lila Young as the woman in the green coat hugged a stranger, tears streaming. But a new threat loomed. Lila's tablet flashed a warning, syndicates rerouting funds now. Malcolm's eyes darkened, his voice a growl. "They're hitting hard. Let's hit harder." Pierce nodded, radioing her team as security cleared the lobby, clients chanting support. Outside, FBI vans screeched, sirens blaring, as the viral video of Evelyn's downfall fueled global outrage. Malcolm adjusted his foam-soaked pink suit. Lila at his side, their alliance a fortress, ready to hunt the syndicate's core. The bank lobby was a battlefield. Malcolm Young's unmasking of Evelyn Sharp's cybercrime ties and Derek Holt's betrayal igniting the 70-strong crowd. Their chants of Lila Young thundering off the marble like a war cry. Phones blazed, capturing every second. Lila Grace's live stream, a global tsunami. Millions watching. Comments surging with pink suit and syndicates. Done news cameras swarmed the entrance. Reporters shouting over scattered foam and broken monitors. While FBI agent Tara Pierce's team hauled evidence from Evelyn's office, their radios crackling. Malcolm stood at the lobby's core, his foam-soaked pink suit a defiant flare. Lila at his side, her tablet pulsing with hack traces. Victor Steele and the board hovered, their faces tense, as the crowd clients, tellers, onlookers pulsed with fury and hope. The woman in the green coat shouted, "Finish him." Young, while the teen in the hoodie filmed, his live stream comments exploding. This is legendary. Security guards cleared debris, but the air was electric, a storm brewing. Malcolm raised a hand, his voice a blade, cutting through the chaos. "We're cracking their system," he said, eyes locking on Lila, who nodded, her braids swinging, her fingers poised. But Victor stepped forward, his voice low, urgent. "Board split." Malcolm somewhat Horizon Finn out to kill this scandal. The crowd gasped, clients murmuring, phones swiveling, as reporters shouted, "Is the deal off?" Malcolm's eyes narrowed, his smartwatch buzzing, but he faced the crowd, his voice a growl. "They think they can silence us. Watch this." He tapped his watch, projecting a demo of Horizon Finn's new app onto the lobby screen, a free fintech tool for low-income users, tracking budgets, blocking scams, empowering the powerless. "This launches next week," he roared, "for every person this bank ignored." The crowd erupted, cheers shaking the walls, the woman in the green coat sobbing. "That's for us," Lila clapped, her tablet glowing. As the teens' live stream spiked, comments flooding pink suits changing lives. Reporters scribbled, shouting, "How's it funded?" But a new threat loomed. A board member, A gaunt man named Leonard Crane shoved through, his voice venomous. "This is reckless," Young he barked, facing the crowd, his glasses glinting. "Your app's a stunt, bankrupting us to play hero." A few clients hesitated, doubt creeping. As reporters surged, sensing blood, Victor's face darkened, but Crane pressed on, his voice rising. "I've got proof Young's been dodging audits, hiding losses." The crowd hushed, phones dipping, as a client in a red scarf whispered, "Is that true?" Lila's eyes blazed, her voice sharp. "He's lying," she shouted, her tablet flashing new data. Crane's emails, leaked to her through a backdoor by hack, plotting to oust Malcolm for personal gain. "You hired a PI to smear him," she said, projecting the emails onto the screen, showing Crane's deals with rival banks. The crowd roared, chanting Young as Crane staggered, his face ashen, reporters shouting. "What's the evidence?" Malcolm seized the moment, his voice a thunderclap. "You thought you could bury me." Crane horizon, fins audited clean. "Your lie's done." He tapped his watch, blasting Crane's financial records, offshore accounts, tied to the same syndicate as Evelyn. The crowd surged, clients pounding counters, the woman in the green coat yelling, "Fire him!" Victor stepped up, his voice ice. "Crane, you're out, board vote, now." The crowd cheered, security flanking Crane, who screamed, "You'll regret this," as he was dragged toward the exit, his glasses falling, shattering on the marble. Reporters swarmed, shouting, "Is Crane with the hackers?" But chaos flared as a teller loyal to Crane. A burly man named Roy Tate lunged from the crowd, grabbing a keyboard, swinging it at Malcolm. The lobby screamed, clients ducking, as Malcolm dodged, grabbing Tate's arm, twisting it until he dropped. Security piling on. "You're late," Malcolm said, his voice lethal, as Tate was cuffed, cursing. Lila's tablet buzzed, new hack alerts flashing, as she whispered, syndicates hitting harder, rerouting funds across branches. The crowd tensed, sensing a bigger fight, as Malcolm turned to Pierce, his voice urgent. "We need full access every server. Now." Pierce nodded, radioing her team, as Lila's fingers flew, pulling up live data streams. The lobby screen flickered, showing funds draining millions siphoned to offshore accounts. The crowd gasped, a client in a gray suit shouting, "My savings." Malcolm faced them in his voice a vow. "Horizon Fin's stopping this, our app's blocking their moves." He tapped his watch, deploying a beta feature, freezing syndicate transactions in real time. The crowd roared, chanting Lila Young as the teens' live stream hit tens of millions. Comments blazing, "They're unbeatable." Victor clapped Malcolm's shoulder, his voice firm. "You're running this, Young." But Lila's tablet flashed a new warning: syndicate counterattacks, targeting Horizon Fin's servers. "They're fighting back," she said, her voice tense, as Malcolm's eyes darkened. "Then we hit their core," he said, his pink suit gleaming, foam and all. Pierce's agents cleared a path, as security locked down the lobby, clients chanting support. Outside, FBI vans screeched, sirens blaring. As the viral video of Crane's downfall fueled global outrage, Malcolm and Lila stood shoulder to shoulder, their alliance a fortress, ready to crush the syndicate's heart. The bank lobby was a fortress under siege. Malcolm Young's unveiling of Horizon Fin's free app and the ousting of Leonard Crane electrifying the 70-strong crowd, their chants of Lila Young reverberating off the marble like a battle hymn. Phones blazed, capturing every moment. Lila Grace's live stream, a global juggernaut. Tens of millions watching. Comments surging with Pink Suit and Crush, the syndicate. News cameras choked the entrance. Reporters shouting over shattered monitors and foam-streaked floors, while FBI agent Tara Pierce's team carted evidence from Evelyn Sharp's office, their radios crackling with updates. Malcolm stood at the lobby's heart, his foam-soaked pink suit a symbol of defiance. Lila at his side, her tablet flashing syndicate counterattacks. Victor Steele and the board watched, their faces steely, as the crowd clients, tellers, onlookers thrummed with hope and rage. The woman in the green coat shouted, "Save us!" Young while the teen in the hoodie filmed, his live stream comments exploding. They're unstoppable, security guards barred the doors, but a new threat roared outside angry shouts, shattering glass, and the thud of makeshift weapons against police barricades. A protest, 50 strong, surged in the parking lot, waving signs reading, "Young's a fraud and Bank's a scam," their voices piercing the lobby's walls. The crowd inside stirred, murmurs rising, phones swiveling to capture the chaos. As Lila's tablet buzzed, her voice tense. They're organized, someone's feeding them lies. Malcolm's eyes narrowed, his smartwatch syncing with her data. But he faced the crowd, his voice ablade. "We're not hiding, let's face them." The crowd gasped, reporters scrambling. As Victor grabbed his arm, his voice low, "It's a mob. Malcolm too risky." But Malcolm shook him off, striding toward the doors, Lila trailing, her tablet glowing. Security parted, the teens' live stream spiking, comments flooding pink suits fearless outside. The protesters hurled bottles, one smashing against the bank sign. As police struggled, batons raised. Their leader, a grizzled man in a leather vest named Hank Greer, shouted, "Young's tanking this bank, he's no hero." The crowd inside bristled, the woman in the green coat yelling, "Liar," but Malcolm stepped out, his pink suit blazing under the sun, hands raised, voice booming. "You got a problem. Say it to me." The protesters froze, some lowering signs, as phones captured every word, reporters streaming live. Hank sneered, stepping closer, a crowbar in hand. "You're a king. Young ruining jobs, stealing our money." A few protesters cheered, but others hesitated, doubt creeping, as Malcolm's voice cut through, steady, fierce. "I'm giving you jobs. Horizon Finn's app is free. For you, for everyone they ignored." The crowd inside roared, chanting Young as Lila projected app demos onto the lobby screen, visible through the glass, showing budget tools for the poor. The protesters wavered, some dropping bottles, but Hank swung his crowbar, aiming for a police shield. The crowd screamed, cops surging, as Malcolm dove in, grabbing Hank's arm, twisting it until the crowbar clattered. His voice ice. "We don't fight like this." The protesters stilled, phones flashing, as Hank staggered, his bravado crumbling. Lila's tablet buzzed, her voice sharp. "Got something," text to the protesters, from inside. She hacked a burner phone signal, projecting messages onto the screen orders to disrupt Young, sent by a bank teller named Clara Wade. The crowd gasped, eyes darting to the tellers' desks, where Clara, a wiry woman with cropped hair, froze, her phone slipping. Her Lila shouted, pointing, as security tackled Clara, her screams drowned by the crowd's boos. The teens' live stream hit new peaks, comments blazing Lila's a genius. Malcolm faced the protesters, his voice a rallying cry. "Clara fed you lies, she's with the syndicate, not me." He tapped his smartwatch, blasting Clara's text plans to frame him, linked to Evelyn's network. The protesters dropped their signs, some joining the crowd inside, chanting Young as Hank nodded, tears in his eyes, muttering, owning, "We were wrong." Reporters swarmed, shouting, "Who's behind Clara?" But Malcolm turned to Lila, his voice low, "Trace her uplink, find the syndicate's hub." Lila's fingers flew, her tablet flashing, as she whispered, "It's offshore, but I'm close." The lobby was electric, phones capturing every second, as Pierce's agents cuffed Clara, dragging her out, her curses fading. The woman in the green coat hugged a former protester, sobbing, while a client in a red scarf shouted, "You're our voice." Young, but Lila's tablet flashed a new alert syndicate, Funds rerouting through a shadow server, targeting Horizon Fin's app. "They're hitting us now," she said, her voice tense, as Malcolm's eyes darkened. "Then we shut him down," he said, his pink suit gleaming despite the chaos. Pierce radioed her team, her voice sharp. "Full lockdown. Young's got the lead." Victor stepped up, his voice firm. "Bank's yours." "Malcolm." The crowd surged, chanting Lila Young as security cleared a path. Protesters now allies, their signs trampled. Outside, FBI vans screeched, sirens blaring, as the viral video of Clara's exposure fueled global support. Malcolm and Lila stood tall, their alliance unbreakable, ready to strike the syndicate's heart. The bank lobby was a volcano of hope and rage. Malcolm Young's triumph over the violent protest and Clara Wade's unmasking as a syndicate pawn, electrifying the 100-strong crowd. Their chants of Lila Young thundering off the marble like a call to arms. Phones blazed, capturing every second. Lila Grace's live stream made a global cataclysm. Hundreds of millions watching. Comments surging with pink suit and syndicate as dead news cameras choked the entrance. Reporters shouting over trampled signs and foam-streaked floors, while FBI agent Tara Pierce's team hauled evidence from Clara's desk, their radios crackling with syndicate takedown plans. Malcolm stood at the lobby's heart, his foam-soaked pink suit a war banner. Lila at his side, her tablet pulsing with hack traces. Victor Steele and the board watched, their faces forged in resolve, as the crowd clients, tellers, former protesters surged with unity. The woman in the green coat waved a makeshift flag, shouting, "You're our future." Young while the teen in the hoodie filmed, his live stream comments exploding. This is biblical. Security guards swept debris, but the air was a live wire, anticipation crackling. Malcolm raised a hand, his voice a searing blade, silencing the chaos. Horizon Fin's app launch is now free for everyone they left behind. He roared, tapping his smartwatch, projecting a vibrant interface onto the lobby screen, budget trackers, scam blockers, financial tools for the marginalized. The crowd erupted, cheers shaking the chandeliers, as Lila distributed tablets, guiding clients to test the app. A woman in a blue jacket, a single mother, swiped through, sobbing, "This saves my family." A man in a red scarf, once homeless, shouted, "Young's giving us power." The teens' live stream spiked, comments flooding pink suits of God. Reporters surged, shouting, "How's it funded?" as the crowd swelled. New faces pouring in low-income workers, people of color, survivors of bank bias drawn by the viral video, clutching phones, forming lines to download the app. Lila's voice pierced the din, fierce and urgent. It's live blocking syndicate scams in real time. She projected data, showing that Horizon Fin's beta feature freezing millions in illicit transfers across branches. The crowd roared, a client in a gray suit, once doubtful, yelling, "My account's secure." But a shadow struck Lila's tablet, screamed, red alerts flashing, her face paling. Massive attack syndicates hitting the app's servers. Now Malcolm seized the tablet, its screen showing a coordinated hack code flooding Horizon Fin's network, draining user funds. "They're desperate," he growled, turning to Pierce, who radioed her team, her voice sharp. "Cyber unit move." The crowd tensed, phones swiveling, as Malcolm's smartwatch synced with Lila's data, tracing the attack to a hidden server inside the bank's executive suite. Suspicion zeroed on a board member, a silver-haired man named Gerald Frost, who'd lingered quietly, his eyes cold. "Frost," Malcolm said, his voice a hiss, pointing, as Lila hacked his terminal, projecting emails orders to crash Young's app. Tied to the syndicate's offshore hub, the crowd gasped, reporters scrambling, as Frost bolted for the exit, his briefcase spilling papers. Malcolm sprinted, his pink suit a streak, Lila trailing, her tablet buzzing. The lobby screamed, clients parting, as security lunged, but Malcolm tackled Frost, pinning him against a glass wall, his voice lethal. You sold us out. The crowd surged, chanting young as Lila's tablet revealed Frost's accounts millions funneled from the syndicate, funding his betrayal. Pierce's agents cuffed Frost, dragging him out, his shouts drowned by boos, the teen's live stream hitting 1 billion views, comments blazing Lila's a mastermind. Malcolm faced the crowd, his voice a war cry. They hit us, we hit harder. Horizon Finn's app is your shield. The crowd roared, clients swarming the tablets, sharing stories, evictions, loan denials, bank bias, their voices a tidal wave. A man in a denim vest, a former protester, shouted, I'm with you, as the woman in the green coat hugged him. Tears streaming, but chaos flared. A group of tellers, loyal to Frost, shoved through, led by a stocky man named Kurt Blair, their faces twisted. You're a virus, young Kurt roared, grabbing a chair, hurling it toward the stage. The lobby screamed, clients ducking, as Malcolm dodged, the chair smashing a monitor, sparks flying. Lila's tablet buzzed, showing a secondary hack, Blair's login, feeding syndicate code. Him too, she shouted, projecting his access logs. As security tackled Blair, his fists swinging, cursing, the crowd chanted Lila Young as Blair was dragged out. The woman in the blue jacket throwing her scarf in disgust. Lila's tablet flashed a final alert, syndicate servers collapsing. Horizon Finn's counterattack wiping their network. We've got him, she said, her voice triumphant. As the crowd cheered, a client in a red scarf live streaming her app. Funds secure. Reporters shouted, what's the app's impact? But Malcolm turned to Lila, his voice low. This is global ready. She nodded, her eyes blazing. Born ready. Victor stepped up, his voice firm. Banks all in every branch, worldwide. The crowd surged, chanting Horizon Finn as security cleared a path. Former protesters now allies, raising fists. Pierce confirmed Frost's arrest. Her voice grim. Syndicates done, your app killed their core. The lobby was a furnace, phones capturing every second. As the woman in the green coat led a chant, young Lila outside. FBI vans screeched, sirens fading. As the viral video of Frost's downfall fueled global unity, Malcolm adjusted his pink suit, Lila at his side, their alliance a revolution, ready to change the world. The bank lobby had transformed into a beacon of triumph, its marble floors now swept clean of foam and debris, adorned with banners proclaiming Bright Path Fund empowering all. Malcolm Young stood on a sleek stage outside, his pink suit radiant under the morning sun. Lila Grace at his side, their alliance a lighthouse in the storm. A crowd of 300 former protesters, low-income workers, survivors of discrimination gathered. Their cheers a symphony of hope, phones flashing, news cameras rolling. Lila's live stream a global monument, billions watching, comments blazing with pink suit and Horizon Finn. The woman in the green coat waved a Bright Path flag, sobbing, while the teen in the hoodie filmed. His live stream comments exploding. This is forever. Bank tellers in aprons handed out app guides, their faces proud, as the man in the red scarf, once homeless, shouted, young, you're our voice. FBI agent Tara Pierce's team patrolled the perimeter. Their presence, a reminder of the syndicate's downfall. While Victor Steele and the board stood behind Malcolm, their support ironclad. Malcolm raised a hand, his voice a forge of grit and victory, silencing the crowd. Today, we launch Bright Path, a fund for every soul this bank crushed, for every dream they tried to kill. He roared, tapping on his smartwatch, projecting the fund's mission onto a massive screen, grants for education, jobs, and financial literacy, powered by Horizon Finn's profits. The crowd erupted, banners soaring. As Lila stepped forward, her voice fierce, I hacked for this. Horizon Finn's app is your key, free for all. She swiped her tablet, showing millions using the app worldwide, blocking scams, securing futures. The crowd cheered, A woman in a blue jacket, a single mother, shouting. This is our life now. Reporters swarmed, shouting. How's it scale? But a shadow emerged, halting the celebration. Evelyn Sharp, released on bail, stepped from a car, her face gaunt, her once severe bun loose, her eyes hollow. The crowd stilled, phones capturing her trembling approach. As Malcolm tensed, Lila gripping her tablet, her braids swinging, Evelyn faced them, her voice frail, cracking. I was wrong, Malcolm. Lila, everyone. I fueled hate, helped the syndicate. I'm sorry. The crowd murmured, some booing, others silent. As the woman in the green coat clutched her flag, torn, Malcolm stepped down, inches from Evelyn, his eyes searching hers, his voice raw. Sorry's a start, prove it. He gestured to the fund's booth, where volunteers helped applicants. Evelyn nodded, tears falling, and joined, her hands shaking as she handed out forms. A small redemption. The crowd clapped, hesitant, then thunderous. The teens' live stream spiking, comments blazing pink suits mercy, but a final threat loomed. Lila's tablet flashed, her face paling as she whispered, one last hack, internal, targeting Bright Path's funds. Malcolm seized the tablet, its screen showing a covert script siphoning donations, traced to a bank VP, a quiet man named Roger Vance, who'd posed as an ally. Vance, Malcolm growled, pointing, as Lila hacked his phone, projecting text orders to bleed Young's fund, linked to the syndicate's remnants. The crowd gasped, reporters scrambling, as Vance bolted for a side exit, his briefcase tumbling. Malcolm sprinted, his pink suit a comet, Lila trailing, her tablet buzzing. The lobby screamed, clients parting, as security lunged, but Malcolm tackled Vance, pinning him against a pillar, his voice lethal. You're the last, he said, as Lila's tablet revealed Vance's accounts, millions stashed offshore, funding the syndicate's final gasp. Pierce's agents cuffed Vance, dragging him out, his shouts drowned by the crowd's boos, the teens' live stream hitting record views. Comments flooding Lila's unstoppable. Malcolm faced the crowd, his voice a war cry. Bright Path isn't a fund, it's us. Unbreakable, the crowd surged, volunteers swarming the booths, applicants sharing stories, evictions. Racism, resilience, their voices a chorus. A man in a denim vest, a former protester, shouted, I'm funded, as the woman in the blue jacket hugged him, sobbing. Lila's tablet confirmed the hack's end, Horizon Finn's app sealing every breach. Bright Path's funds secure. We did it, she said, her voice triumphant. As the crowd roared, a client in a gray suit live streaming his app, now global. Pierce stepped up, her voice grim. FBI's closing the syndicate. Vance was their last link. Reporters shouted, what's Bright Path's goal? But Malcolm turned to Lila, his voice low. This is our world now. Ready? She nodded, her eyes blazing. Always. Victor raised a fist, his voice firm. Banks all in Bright Paths everywhere. The crowd surged, chanting Horizon Finn as Evelyn worked quietly. Her redemption, a spark. The woman in the green coat led a chant, Young Lila, as former protesters joined applicants. Their unity a fortress. Outside, FBI vans faded, sirens silent. As the viral video of Vance's downfall fueled global hope, Malcolm adjusted his pink suit, Lila at his side. Their app and fund a revolution, reshaping banking forever. From a manager's mockery to a fintech genius's triumph, he exposed racism and launched Bright Path, uniting a community. Thanks for listening. Share and subscribe with the notifications on for more epic stories of justice and hope.